Hey everyone, welcome to the Tonal Distancing Podcast. My name is Prabhu, aka Bloom. I'm here today with my guests Chloe Clemente and Joseph Lacy, here to talk about Chloe's new single, Not Good with Words. They're two very talented DFW artists that I've become friends with over the last year, so I'm really excited to have them here.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here, Prabhu. Thank you so much for having us and everything.
Thank you.
We're really excited to play Not Good with Words for you and all of the listeners and everything, and to get to talk about it and everything. It's coming out August 29th for those of you who want to check it out. And you can follow me on Chloe Clemente Official and Joseph on...
I'm like Joseph_Lacy on Instagram.
Yeah. We'll tag all those in the video too. So before they're here to also show us a little clip for Not Good with Words and play a little rendition for us. But before that, as standard on this show, I'm very used to Kanum doing this, so this is my first time doing the toast. Yeah, it's happening. I'm not very good at this, so I've got it written down here.
You're not good
Sorry,
with words.
I'm not good with words. I'm very glad that's the theme of this podcast because I feel a lot more at ease.
Feel it.
So, the toast time. A toast to the lords and ladies of music. Please guide us on our musical journey and be kind to us while we drink. So, who would you all like to toast? And for those of us who haven't seen this before, since you're new to, this is just any artist you want to give a shout out to, dead or alive, current, doing stuff. In the past, it's been Eddie Van Halen to local artists that you're following. Anyone that's just, I don't know, inspired you, or do you just feel like showing some love to?
Honestly, my best friend, Mandy Arcane.
Mandy Arcane?
Me personally. Do you have anybody?
I'm going to toast my buddy Taylor. He's a really great bass player.
Dude, let's go. Hey, and let's throw Terrence in there.
Throw Terrence in there. Terrence is a fantastic bass player.
Dude, amazing.
Awesome.
Great dude.
Well, I love that you all have local like people you're trying to show love to.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even thought about this recently, but the only one I could think of is Jimmy Page, which is a very big local people who you're friends with who are killing it out there. And then
fantastic artist.
I've been kind of getting back into a 70s rock kick recently, which also kind of prepping for, listening to your song. So
thank you.
A lot of your stuff kind of reminded me of like Led Zeppelin and stuff.
Yes.
So then that Jimmy Page is one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So
yeah, dude.
Thank you all for joining and
awesome.
Cheers.
All right, here.
Cheers.
Let me transfer that over there.
Transfer the toast.
And also, I would like to do a little thank you to where we're recording here today. It's a school called Rock Stars of Tomorrow in Frisco, Texas. It's a school where Chloe teaches, and she was gracious. She was gracious enough to let us record here, and this place is sweet. And if you have kids that you want to, teach music and actually learn how to be an artist, I think this is a great place.
Yeah, it's definitely so much fun to teach here and everything. I didn't see teaching as a route in my life, but it's really helped me to inspire, of course, the future generation, as we call it. Mm-hmm. But, it's really also helped me hone my skills as a musician. If you can teach somebody what you've learned, mm-hmm. it just cements it even more.
Yeah.
So I'm really thankful to this place, and I absolutely love it. And I've been here since it opened, so mm-hmm. It's just been great. I'm also one of the original students from California, so this place is ingrained in me and everything. I really appreciate all the opportunities it's given me, and I probably wouldn't be doing as much, I wouldn't be the artist that I am without it. So
cool.
It's awesome.
Awesome. And also thank you to Matt Fjordbach,
yes.
One of my close friends here in Dallas, who's actually this is the first time I'm doing the podcast in person. Kanum's been doing this and is really good at it. Matt's sound and lighting engineer here in Dallas and has really done an awesome job setting this all up, and I couldn't have done this without him. So thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, God.
So thank you, God. Yeah. So y'all are here to showcase your new song, Not Good with Words. Usually on the show we have a little intro to kind of play through a riff or something, but y'all are here to play your song. So if this is out before the song comes out, this is the first place you could technically hear it.
Seriously.
I'm really honored if that's the case.
Yeah, and it's an acoustic version. I mean, it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
I'm only releasing the full production one, so, and maybe an acoustic version on the album. Who knows? But yeah, that's next year.
Little tease.
Little tease.
Okay.
But this is where you can find it,
Cool.
right here on Tonal Distance.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Tonal Distancing.
Tonal distancing. Yeah.
Tonal Distancing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
like total distancing, but that doesn't work. But anyways,
Tonal.
well,
Yeah.
Here's Chloe Clemente and Joseph Lacy on guitar with Not Good with Words.
Perfect.
Today, sometimes I think that fighting's a better way. 'Cause once you get out on the floor, we're dancing funnier than before. 'Cause I'm not really good with words today. I'm not really good with words today. Yeah, I'm not really good with words today. Ooh. Go and tell them I'm already gone. Go and tell them that it's all over. Go and tell them I'm already gone. Ooh, 'cause I'm not really good with words today. I'm not really good with words today. Yeah, I'm not really good with words today. The rain falls and the blood still stains, but I'll go out and find some space, a little for the half-blooded rays. My back is made of steel from all the stabbing. Ears start to hurt from all the ringing. I'll find a better way to go. Maybe it'll be enough to stop the flow. 'Cause I'm not really good with words today. I'm not really good with words today. Yeah, I'm not really good with words today. Ooh, go and tell them I'm already gone. Go and tell them that it's all over. Go and tell them I'm already gone. Ooh, go and tell them I'm already gone. Oh, if I could find a way to paint the skies blue again, maybe then I'd start seeing so much Go and tell them I'm already gone. Go and tell them that it's all over. Go and tell them I'm already gone. Ooh, 'cause I'm not really good with words today. I'm not really good with words today.
Wow.
Eh?
Great job. That was really good. That is super catchy.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, that is like great job and great playing. That's like
Thank you.
Dude, yeah. Thank you, Joseph, for being here. Joseph is my guitarist. He's awesome. He's also an audio engineer. The place we met actually is college. I met him in my, was it audio for video first?
I think it was audio for video first. Yeah.
Well, that's really awesome. Yeah, a couple things like came to mind when I was listening to it, which one, I think the first thing I noticed, which was different than the last song that you sent me, was it called Angels Cry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That there's no drums. It's just, piano. It's like a good old fashioned piano ballad with singing and guitar. And I think I haven't heard that in a while from things. I know
it. I mean, it gets heavier like through the song, like Angels Cry and everything. It has the drums in it and stuff, like it's been added and all that. But I call it for this one. Of course, we stripped it down. Or were you talking about Angels Cry or?
Oh, in this song, I thought it was cool
okay.
that it was like more focused on the piano, vocal, and guitar, but there's still a lot of dynamics to it. So like you were talking about, it's not like
we stripped it down.
Yeah,
we stripped it down for this one. I mean, like.
So
it's
what
not
was
every
that
day.
like? So was that a song where it was a full rock ensemble kind of thing, and then you decided? Well, what about it made you strip it down?
Well, it started stripped down. I will say, like I mean, just the story of the song. I wrote it during the pandemic.
Okay.
So it actually started just with me singing and a piano.
Okay.
In the final production, it has drums, it has bass, it has all of that.
Okay.
Drums are insane on it, but
okay, so this is just kind of a stripped down performance
for the
podcast.
But I mean,
excited
it's
to hear.
true to the original
acoustic version.
one, though.
But it's cool because even as an acoustic version, sometimes acoustic can be like, it can feel like it's missing something. That, I actually thought that was just the final thing, and I thought that was cool. So like, I feel like adding those extra layers is only gonna bring it more life. Which is that your So I guess that sparks the question of like, is that your general process for writing? Is it always you and a piano and then everything comes after?
Yes, it's either me and a piano or me and a guitar. Rarely do I start writing with people. I only recently started writing with Joseph and our bass player Terrence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and Brandon Burkhalter is actually going to be on the next song, so that'll be cool.
That's cool.
My boy.
Yes, our boy.
Love Brandon,
my boss.
Oh my god. We're like over here, our boy, and then you're like, oh, my boss.
No, he's one of my best friends. So
he's awesome.
Yeah.
But
has Brandon been on the podcast yet? This is kind of off topic, but
no, and I've not. This is you all are my first in-person interview in Dallas. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're honored. Thank you so much for having us.
Seriously.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, your process. So you've been writing it on acoustic or piano, and then you kind of bring in the instrumentation of like having drums with Brandon or having Joseph with guitar.
Yes.
Is that something? So, did you always have a band whenever you wrote music, or what I guess just kind of is
my
your
writing
musical journey, I guess, as an artist?
Oh man, I mean, I started singing, of course, when I was little and everything, and then like I literally told my mom, I'm like, hey, I want to be a rock star. I literally, it's funny, I had like exactly, it's surreal. We call it living the dream now. Thank goodness. It's sometimes, of course, it gets rough and everything, but I mean, it's nothing I'd rather be doing. I mean, I grew up on 80s music. So basically Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Journey, all the influences that I grew up with now are like my just favorite, it just stayed ingrained in me. I get my music taste from my mom, and then, and my dad will always say this, and like, has a really good voice. He's like, you got your voice from me. So, that's awesome. So that's pretty much, I mean, those are my influences and everything. I didn't start writing until I got in my first band. So my first band, actually, we ended up releasing a whole album together. I was like 15, maybe. So I started writing basically a minimal writing on there. I didn't truly start writing lyrics until I went to college, actually. So with the band and everything, we released the band was called Surge. I'm still friends with everybody. Just basically, band broke up when I moved out to Dallas, Texas. Thank goodness I'm out here though. Yeah, I'm really happy that I'm here now. Just literally like it started as kind of a garage band and turned into like this, kind of local band in LA and everything. And from there, we ended up getting actually the first record deal out of Rockstars came from us and everything. But yeah, broke up, but we ended up releasing an amazing album called Struck by Lightning, and yeah, we're all still good friends and, you know, kicking it and everything. But yeah, and then I moved to Dallas, Texas. Originally, it wasn't like my choice. I was 17.
Mhm.
First year I was here, I kind of fell into a depression.
Yeah.
My parents are very tough love / hardcore, which I'm okay with. You know, I'm very thankful for my parents and very, you know, happy for their support. They're very supportive. But it was basically get a job or go to college. And I was like, okay, what do I want as an artist? I still want to do music. I have no connections in Dallas. You know, I felt very alone at the time. The first musician that I met was actually Mandy Arcane.
Okay.
So she's my best friend now. Like, you know, she really like, I would probably say like she's the one that kind of pointed me in the right direction as far as like I need to, you know, get it together.
Yeah.
But basically I went to oh, she's right there. Actually, Mandy, if you want to say hi. I didn't know if you left or
Mandy.
But yeah, thank you for pulling me
Hop
out of
in.
depression.
Oh no, it's okay. You pulled me out of depression too. Hi guys.
Yeah. Well, with Mandy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
She's amazing. I love both of these people.
Oh my god. Well, Mandy Arcane just released her song Thriller, so go check that out.
It's a
Is it Mandy
banger.
Arcane
It's
official?
so good.
Yes, Mandy
Perfect.
Arcane official on Instagram. You can stream Thriller on all platforms.
Yeah.
You said Mandy, and then she magically Not
Seriously.
magically. Mandy.
Her
also
ears were
works
burning.
here,
She's
and
like-
She is magic, but you know.
she's helped
That's
set
how I
up
work.
and
You
was-
say Mandy and I appear. And,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, thanks.
Thank
thanks,
you.
Mandy, for being here. And yeah, and that's awesome that like you had a friend like that who kind of pushed you in, like
Seriously.
not just in like from a musical, but also like a professional, like how to kind of
Yeah, like just on all levels, it was like, okay, everything's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be okay. And then yeah, and after a year of kind of being in depression, I realized I was like, man, I just gotta start. You know, it's just about starting to do something. So
Mhm.
I started writing a lyric every day. Granted, you know, and this is what I tell my students, I'm like, you just gotta just start doing it.
Show
you know,
up.
just show up.
Yeah.
Even if it's not good, I mean, you know, I have lyrics in there that I still use to this day.
Mhm.
You know, there are some in there that I'm like, you know, that's questionable. But I mean, you know, everybody thinks you have to start as this like protege when you're younger and like start writing when you're like 6, you know,
Yeah.
but I didn't start until I was in college and everything. And that was like 3 years ago. So
Okay. Wow.
yeah, I graduated just last year, but
Oh wow.
I
Congrats.
mean, it's been a journey. So I wrote actually Not Good with Words during the pandemic, during finals of college.
Mhm.
So the song is about just like cold, just you're in a storm of emotions type of anger. So you're not thinking. You're just like, you're not good with words. You know, it's on site. Like you get there and you just need one person to like make you mad, and it's all hands.
It's
You
kinda
know,
like it's like one of those kettle pots or something.
Exactly,
like
exactly.
a pressure cooker or something like that, where it's just like gonna blow and it's just like-
exactly.
Just
And-
breaks loose.
yeah.
And since Joseph's here, I want you to know it was during the final where we had to do the skills test for audio engineering.
Oh, no.
Those skills tests. Oh man.
Oh my god! So just some backstory
Yeah.
and everything. We have an amazing professor. Actually, Brad Cox, who was our professor, actually has mixed and mastered this track that's coming out.
That's right. Yeah.
So I can't believe I didn't think about that, but he's been an instrumental influence in my life, of course. I'm
No
sure
pun,
Joseph's
absolutely
life.
same.
pun intended.
Ha! Actually, no. I've been around Brandon a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, just it was during that skills test. I mean, it was fun, but it was hard. Basically what he would do is in Pro Tools, he would mess a bunch of things up, and you had to know the knowledge to unmess it up. And there would be
That's a good way to do it.
dude, there would be markers where you click on them and then it would mess it up again.
Yeah.
Like he
Wow.
would.
There was little devious stuff in there. You had to know what was going on, or you'd be.
It was insane.
Just
And then also he did this thing where he hid something inside of the session, and if you found it, then you'd get an instant 100. And
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. Oh my god.
I think we're good to say it now. Basically,
We're gonna say it now for sure.
Yeah.
Say
I spoiled it though. Dude texted
Don't
me.
say that.
Dude texted me late at
You
night,
got
and
your
he's like,
diploma in hand, right? So
I
you're
do.
Good.
I'm good.
I do.
I'm good. It's
Speak
all
your
right.
truth.
But no, dude texted me, and he's just like, he's like, tomorrow on the skills test, there's a little Easter egg. I immediately screenshotted it and sent it to the Discord, and the next text was probably don't tell anyone that, and I was like,
oh, Joseph.
oh dude. And I was
God.
okay, I was honestly low key like somewhat of a teacher's pet. Like I like that guy. I wanted to stay on his good
Same.
side.
That's good.
And
though.
that just kind of like
Yeah.
brought it down a little bit. I
We
was
totally
like,
kissed
oh,
his
I
ass.
messed
I'm gonna
up.
be honest. We were both teachers' pets. I'm gonna be honest. But it was a fun class and everything. But yeah, during that final, I got there was a swirl of emotions just because we didn't know what was going on with the music industry at that time too. So I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, like I picked college because I was like, they have an audio engineering program. I don't know anything about that. I didn't, in my head, especially when I came from California, I was very much like I had performed, you know, I'd sang and stuff, but I didn't know anything about audio engineering. I didn't know how anything worked, and that made me very insecure. So going to school and doing that really empowered me to kind of just take it back into my own hands. And now I record my own vocals at home, you know.
Oh, nice.
So the vocals on the track that, you know, you're going to play at the end, I think just
Yeah.
it, you know, that was all me at home.
Nice.
And it really empowered me and stuff. And yeah, it, you know, it has a big place in my heart and everything. So, yeah, just that song stemmed from the frustration of the music industry kind of being in a place of uncertainty. And
Okay,
then
yeah. Got
finals week. And then I was just like, what melody? When I write, it's always a melody that pops into my head.
first.
Yes.
Okay.
There's always some sort of melody, either, you know, and, you know, sometimes I'll just like try to make up some chords. I'm like, okay, I've been writing like this for too long. You know, I try to change it up. That way it's not just like the same, you know, descending chords over and over again. You know, obviously everybody, you know, AC/DC has a certain sound, you know, Journey has a certain sound.
They haven't
you
strayed
know.
from it.
Exactly. It's like, you
It
know,
works. I mean,
it works.
yeah.
It totally works. But yeah, just, you know, I try to differentiate it and all that. But yeah, I mean, with that one, I just felt it. And I had, like, I wrote the song in probably one night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of
And-
like the best song. And that's like the one that, like, I feel like, because I've had a couple where it's just like, sometimes I'll try to sit and write, and it becomes so clinical
Mhm.
that it's just like, my goal ends up being, I just want to get this. It's like a completion grade.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to finish
Seriously.
this song because I put time into it. And sometimes
Yeah.
that feels a little like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this?
For
But then
real.
there's sometimes where I write a thing and then it just like, in a day, like you said, it just comes out, and then it's not going to be the final polished thing, but it's all just like boom, boom, next.
Seriously.
next.
Kind of
And
like, where did this come from? But it's also amazing. You're like,
yeah, and
Yeah.
that happens maybe once in a year or
Yeah.
something like
Me
that, or like
too.
maybe if I'm lucky. And like that's one of those things where when it happens, I just kind of have that like catch it. And what you were talking about, I think what you were talking about, feeling empowered about recording. So that
Yeah.
was kind of my journey with like recording. I started as a guitar player, then I started recording and learning how to produce. And then once I realized I could get like beyond just a demo sound of like, oh, I can get like a pretty, like, you don't need to buy every, you know, plug-in in the world. You once you train your ear a little bit better, and once you can kind of mimic a sound that you're going for that someone else has
Mhm.
done, you feel a little bit like, wow, wait, I'm
Did a
I'm a
thing.
real musician, because like I think
Seriously.
every musician has that like
Imposter syndrome.
imposter syndrome, and I was gonna ask about
Always.
like how you guys kind of tackle that, or how that's ever, if that's ever been a thing in your guys' experience, because especially with so for me, I didn't study music,
Yeah.
but it sounds like even you working, you know, professionally in music, studying music,
Yeah.
doing music,
Yeah.
freelance, it's still a thing that lives. And
Oh,
like,
definitely.
yeah.
And okay. So I've actually found a hack for this.
yeah.
I've gotten actually more confident in the artistry through teaching as well.
Mm.
Just because, and it's not it's like, oh, I feel good because this kid knows nothing. No, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not
You
that
just
whatsoever. No.
jumping on all these,
No.
to be honest, I wasn't
No.
thinking it, but then I was
just
But-
flexing on all these.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
They're all just all my students are awesome, honestly. Just basically you can't feel discouraged when you're encouraging somebody else.
True.
So
That's
like
great.
that's anytime I felt discouraged, I either text Mandy, I'm like, yo, I love you. You're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it's
real.
like being there for someone else. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just you have to believe that, otherwise, and it falls back on you. You know,
Yeah.
it's that accountability where it's like, if I don't believe it for my friend, I can't believe it for myself,
Mhm.
and if I can't believe it for myself, then I can't believe it for my friend.
Mhm.
You know,
True.
Yeah.
so that's how I've gotten around the imposter syndrome and everything, and like it's changed
Mhm.
my perspective as well. 'Cause just especially nowadays, I've been feeling, just very grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given and all that. But, the goal is to continue to inspire others
Mhm.
and, take the opportunities that I've been given and try to make more opportunities for other people. Cause I mean, I feel like that's what the music industry is lacking right now. And
Mhm.
especially in local bands and everything and local talent, like there's always that, oh, that's community. It's a community, but I don't see a lot of people.
It's a competitive community.
yeah.
It's
In a little healthy competition. Awesome.
Needs
Yeah.
more
Cool,
love
but
and compassion. I feel like needs
Yeah,
more love,
'cause-
compassion, and also community. Because I feel like
Exactly.
it's every man for himself. And
exactly.
I feel like that can get super toxic, and that's
It
what
can.
breeds,
Drama.
drama, and also what's the name of it? Like just people that like industry plants. Like that's what breeds it. It's
Yeah.
money and stuff. I
Yeah,
just wanted to add
for it.
something about when we first met.
Oh,
I know
God.
this is totally
no.
we're backtracking a little bit.
No,
I
you're
know
fine.
this
Go
is-
for it. You're here.
But
Like I want you here.
It's
I wanted.
Yeah.
The reason why I raised my hand earlier is because when we were talking about just the songwriting process and stuff. When you were your first year of college, I think.
Yeah.
We were trying to write a few songs,
remember
and there
that.
was one called like "Burning the House Down" or something. I think you,
Fall asleep when I stay away.
dude, you remember that? That's
I do.
Crazy. I don't even. Okay. Anyway,
I do.
So we're trying to
It's
write
Burn
this
the
up in
house
her
down.
room, and like we have like a little keyboard and what I think we were using like
We were trying.
Audacity. We had Audacity
wow.
on her
Nice.
computer,
I need a drink.
and she's like trying to show me how to do it and stuff. And I just thought she was like the smartest person ever. And now
What?
but now I
I
look
mean,
at you.
it takes some
Yeah.
big brain energy
No.
to be able to work Audacity.
But the-
and
Oh,
actually
yeah.
record
Yeah.
it well.
Oh,
How
yeah.
far
Okay.
you've come though is crazy. Like I'm so proud
Thank
of you.
you.
Because like I didn't think it could get any better. And like the fact that
Whoa.
we're here right now as music teachers, that's
Dude,
crazy.
we're doing it.
That's so
Made it.
wild. Like
It's awesome, and like I'm just happy to have the people in my life that I do, like especially you two, Prabhu. Like seriously,
Aw, well, yeah, I
like-
mean, and that's kind of the thing with the podcast too. Is like, I mean, this started with us. Like, it started with me, Zach, and Kanem just just talking. Actually, one of the reasons I thought like, yes, you're an artist, but that like you guys are local artists. But the other thing I was hoping is I really hope there's a way for Zach and Kanem to be here because they're very much into the same kind of music,
Yeah.
like the whole Guns N' Roses 80s
I'm always
stuff.
down to
Okay.
come back.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that.
Seriously,
Yeah.
But one of the things with the podcast was kind of like what we talked about, that depression of COVID and there not being any live music or just social interaction. The social part of music, I mean, that became something with, so we did this just as almost like, it started for us just to be able to
Mhm.
talk through, talk and hang out and, just talk about music. And the kind of like what we talk about is like, it's kind of like when you're in high school and you're just chatting with your friends about like bands and you're just geeking out about
Yeah.
stuff and like
Yeah.
just kind of that energy and like, and that actually, it's kind of just doing this podcast is kind of for me, it's pumped back that like that magic of music that's kind of, I think, lost when you start trying to do it and make a career out of it, where you're like, you start thinking about like the competitive side versus like, I think back to like when I was in like 11th grade and I was just like, everything was just like magical and I was like, how did they do this on this album? And me trying to replicate it with my Line 6 amp that sounded terrible
Yes.
and like
Oh, gosh.
my little Spider 3 amp. I'm trying
Insane.
to
I see
it happening.
insane channel. Yeah.
I see that every day, and I love it.
Yeah,
That's where the
and
magic
that I'm
happens.
not even knocking on
Yeah.
that amp because that amp is pretty dope. I wish I still had one, but
Oh my gosh, yep.
but like there's that magic to it that's just like, I mean, I used to like just listening to music when going to sleep and just
Seriously.
like just listen to an album front to back, and it's like
Yeah.
And so bringing that kind of energy of when you didn't have plans for something, and like for us just talking, that's kind of also, we found it really fun when we have guests,
Mhm.
just not because we're just trying to get things for the podcast, but it's like through, having guests and stuff. One, it's like, it's a community, and like with with podcasting, it's like you get to meet musicians in New York and Dallas, and it's kind of all the same. Like that sense of community has changed from just also even being in your city to like, people doing very similar niche music in like Idaho,
Yeah.
or doing, so it's kind of cool. Like I think what you said about there's so much more potential for community now,
Mhm.
but I see what you're saying about like, it is also, there's sometimes a little bit more of a cutthroat thing because everyone's trying to
And
get all the Instagram followers or get all
I-
the likes on their on their Spotify, or
Chasing clout.
yeah, and it's
Seriously.
part of the thing, but it's hard and it's like a balance of how do you like do it together. And
Well, the goal, I mean, you just got to stay on that. I mean, you actively have to think about it where it's like, okay, now what do I do with this? How can I affect other people's lives? And it's an important thought,
yeah.
and it shouldn't go unnoticed. It can't always be about you,
Mhm.
and that's, yeah. And I will say it is way better out here. And I've met a lot more, friendly musicians out here than in LA. Like,
Yeah, and I mean
it was
that's just-
competitive.
yeah, that's what, like, I feel like it's like if you move to one of those cities, it is, you have so much opportunity, but everyone's there for that. It's like, okay, you want to be an actor, musician,
Yeah, it's
So do we.
get in
Yeah.
line.
little
Yeah,
fish
yeah,
in a
everyone
big
else.
pond.
Join the club, buddy.
Yeah, and I think the thing I've also learned about being in, like, trying to do more stuff with music is actually all the other things it takes to be a musician that aren't music. So like,
You have to be versatile.
yeah,
you have
having
to know
Matt,
about.
who does live sound and lighting, help with this is a tremendous thing, because like lighting and video, or my wife Haley is so good with like video and photography and stuff, and like all that stuff, or just having website. There's being a musician now is like 15 jobs.
Seriously,
and
you have to
all
wear
of them.
so many hats.
It's
and there's
tiring, and it's a promo. So because you have to do all the promo and record, or you've done the recording, and I think it's important to always find that, like, at least the passion of like for me, recording is at least still it's like a passion for me, because
Yeah.
I treat it like an instrument.
yeah.
But then there's things that
Yeah.
come with music that I'm just like, I really don't like this, but I have to do it. Like, I'm not good at this part. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not good at the, like, I'm terrible with, like,
Yeah.
like lighting and video and stuff.
Mhm.
But I want to, it's interesting because I like the final result of feeling proud of the product, but it's not
Yeah.
something I'm naturally just like, oh,
Mhm.
this is like,
This excites
I'm
me.
gonna do
It's
this
makes
in
me
my
wanna-
free time.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. So,
Yeah.
actually, with that, so with the single, so in terms of, you were talking about local music and stuff like that. So you all are part of this. Is Mandy and Joseph are part of your live band, correct?
Mandy, I mean,
We've
Oh,
been
did I just
we've
start
been
a?
cussing and discussing, to be honest with you.
we've discussed it, like, backing
Yeah.
vocals and stuff. Right now, it's just me,
Yeah, I
Joseph,
mean-
and Terrence is our
Right.
bassist and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then Mandy, I mean, she's just always there because she's my best friend.
I'm the cheerleader. I support. Woo!
Yeah,
And then I do
mean,
the same thing for her. Like, I just saw your band like
Yeah.
a couple months ago. Like, just
Yeah.
kill it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
we're just
Right here.
supporting each other.
Yeah.
honestly.
And so when you're composing these songs, now that you have I guess a live band or backing
Yeah.
band, does that ever factor into how you write songs, or do you still just try to write the song that you want and then figure out how to do it live, or what
A
is
little bit of both.
Okay.
So basically, I always write with a band in mind just because I like 80s rock,
Yeah.
Like,
What's
they're-
your favorite 80s rock band?
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N'
I
Roses.
I was like,
Zach.
I made
This
that
is
sound
your
because I knew.
podcast.
Who's ready?
Where are you?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. No, we'll have
But
to-
yeah, I mean, I always write with a band in mind. It's like I was actually shamed for a while in wanting to, and even by my own parents every once in a while, like, you just need to join a band, don't do your artist stuff, just join a band, which
That's
that's
funny coming
easy.
from parents. All you need to do is join a band. Like, what are you doing
Oh,
with your life?
dude.
Like, wow.
Okay, here's a story.
build a
I got
rocket
one
ship.
for you.
Yeah.
My dad looked me dead in the face and goes, "Chloe, if you don't get in a band in 4 months, you're going to the Air Force.
So
Oh,
savage.
jeez.
And I'm like,
So savage.
Air Force
Whoa.
or 80s
Bro?
band.
I'm like,
Wow.
not even the Army?
Yeah, Air Force is hard. That's
Gonna go flat
I mean,
plane.
all of those are hard.
All of them are hard. Marines
Yeah.
are, yeah.
Military
Just,
Wow.
dad.
I come from a military
so,
family, though.
so it's military or being a rock band.
I'm like, okay, bet. Just, I
Wow.
was really depressed, granted. And like, it's funny because the frustration that I had with writing Not Good with Words, you know, it stemmed from me coming out of depression and then COVID happening. And then it's like,
Oh.
I was ready.
This was my time to shine.
What
like,
the heck? I thought this was going to be my year. It's not my year.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And do you feel that in a way it has been like, do you think do you feel that COVID has brought any actual like changes in direction that have been positive?
Totally. It made me actually sit down and write. Like, I wasn't distracted by any, you know, I'm taking all the positive out of it. Obviously, it was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
It is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
you know, it made me focus on myself and my writing and my skills. And it kind of, you know, since the world was paused, I think I actually felt less pressured
Mhm.
to
That
get
is
everything done.
Yeah.
So I got to focus on school, which I needed to. And basically, I kind of just shut down
hmm
like music for a while just because I wanted to get that done as soon as possible. So, and I mean, you know, I was still doing music at school because I went
Yeah.
for commercial music, which, you know, audio engineering, music management. I just wanted to learn as much as possible. But with the band thing, you know, I did end up joining a band and everything, and we, you know, played around and stuff. But and that's where I actually met Terrence,
Okay.
bassist and everything. Hopefully he'll be here next time. But
Yeah.
we call it. But yeah, I mean, you know, that band ended, you know, all good. But yeah, and then I really got everything done, and then I was like,
Yeah.
so now I feel like this has actually been a really good. It's been a year of growth. It's been painful,
Yeah.
but you know, I feel like things are actually coming to fruition and things are actually getting released. Like, I released my first song as a solo artist this year,
hmm
which was monumental for me emotionally, just because it was like, finally, it's out. I actually did something.
Yeah.
And that first song, you know, just to talk about it really quick, Angels Cry,
Yeah.
like, it was a love letter to that time in my life. So the song is about basically standing up for myself, but also standing up for others. So still a rock ballad, still like hard, but
Yeah.
it's like the music, the lyrics are like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's cool because it's like the musicality or instrumentation of like an older rock song, but
seriously.
definitely a much more positive thing than
Yeah.
like
I like to leave it
some
on a
of the
high
older-
note, or at least on a note where it's like in your face. And, you know, Not Good with Words is about basically getting in a fight and like
Yeah.
not caring if you live or die.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I like to be versatile,
Mhm.
but yeah, just it, you know, the lyrics always have some sort of meaning and are close to my heart. And it
Mhm.
comes from either I'm expressing emotion or I'm really trying to work through something.
Mhm.
And that's where it helps. You know, music isn't just, you know, happiness for me. It's also my sadness. It's also my anger. It's
therapy.
also, it's literal therapy for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that's, you know, kind of my drive behind it and everything. And just, you know, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's,
you know?
Yeah, that kind of is a interesting thing because it's actually something I've thought about recently. I'm trying to get better at vocals and stuff like that, and like I sang when I was a little kid in choir.
Mhm.
So like singing was actually kind of, I guess, my first instrument.
Dude, I think I know a person that can help with this.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are not a lot of singers, and yeah, but it's funny because like a thing that I'm not. I don't know how to train, but it's like a thing that I haven't approached music in the same way, and it's always interesting to me to hear, like especially vocalists and but more specifically lyricists,
Yeah.
how they approach music is this thing to take these very vulnerable things that they're feeling
Yeah.
and put them out to the world. And to me, I think that's the thing I've noticed that like I've tried that, and sometimes I can't write that way with like with lyrics because I'm like,
Oh.
oh my god, this feels so weird to put this like so personal thing about maybe someone specific out there.
Yeah.
And it's like a thing. So it's like interesting because like for me, primarily as an instrumentalist, a lot of like I do put emotion into it, but a lot of it
Yeah.
is like to me it feels like composing a like I don't know, it's like either like playing live and playing music is sometimes a thing that's more of a feeling like it's kind of like, especially with like metal, it's like an exhilarating thing. It's like playing a sport. It's like playing like wow, I did this
Yeah.
cool like
Yeah.
intense thing that's really
Flowing out,
hard.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with recording like instrumental stuff that's more like pretty and ambient, sometimes it's about like shaping that. So like I guess for you all, do you also approach it? I know like I guess as like instrumentalists too, do you like approach it in that sense of like for you when you like what makes you like what do you see in music like for you? Like for some people it's an escape, for some people it's putting yourself out there. Like for what is that I guess for you
So
both?
one of the reasons I fell in love with guitar and started playing that would be like kind of dumb here, just the sounds. I
Yeah.
just love making sounds.
No, it's awesome.
And so I play electric primarily.
Yeah.
Just because as a guitarist you can
Yeah, and
probably
no,
relate
sound is
effects
huge.
pedals, just effects, everything.
It's vibes.
You
know,
can
that's
you
the
can just
thing.
create endless like sounds. And so that's kind of what I tend to go for. In my writing, in my little writing that I've done.
Mhm.
It's all right. And then just noodling and whatever else I do on the instrument. I just love the sound of it. So
Yeah, no sound.
that's kind of my emotion with guitar is the sounds.
And sounds are a lot of times to me things like I grew up in Michigan and it's very cold and wintry, and that reflected in my music because the sounds I use are very like classy, cold, dark sounds, and like
Okay.
because it's like cold and depressing all year, and like that affected my writing, and like it's interesting. Like sound selection to me is like just as much as like the actual writing. Sometimes it's like
Oh,
I'll spend just as
definitely.
much time like tweaking a guitar tone because it'll inspire
Yeah.
me writing something else.
Go down a rabbit hole of just knob twisting.
Yeah, is that for you? Is that
Um,
pretty similar with like to Chloe's experience with
Yeah, so for me, like music, I was humming even like before I could even talk. Like music has been my first language. Like
Mhm.
first thing I ever knew my dad was playing it while I was in my mom's stomach. Like it was just
that's awesome.
I just fell in love with music immediately. As I said, like before, it was my first love. But it also became an escape for me.
Mhm.
So like I went through a lot of stuff in my life, like especially growing up. And I think that's the only thing that really got me through. And then for me, I also felt like I wasn't really good at anything. I wasn't good at math. I wasn't good at this. I wasn't good at that. People were always telling me I was stupid, but there was one thing I was good at. That's music.
Mhm.
And so I think honestly, it's just saved me and it's brought me together. It just means so much because it's brought me together with so many amazing people that I can relate to.
Mhm.
And that I don't feel like I'm alone in this world. I have people that understand where I'm coming from and I can relay my thoughts in a deep and meaningful way through music. The only way that I really can express it.
True that.
So.
True that.
I can relate a lot to that because like the escapism part was a big thing for me of like growing up and being bullied and all that stuff, or feeling
Yeah.
like belittled or that I'm not good with stuff, or
I
you feel like
swear.
you feel like this oh I'm like you feel small, but then like somehow with like a guitar or something, it's like then I started feeling like oh it's like I feel like
Yeah.
even at the very least, even to this day, I've kind of been recalibrating my like sense of why I play guitar, because like a lot of it is like also chasing this like I need to make it, I need to do the thing,
Yeah.
I need to do
Yeah.
that, and sometimes when I put it away, I've been having days or weeks sometimes where I'm just like I'm not gonna record my video and put it on Instagram. I'm just gonna play the guitar just to play the guitar.
Just
You
take
need-
that
you
for
need
what
to
it
have
is.
fun
and
with
some
it.
and it is that therapy sometimes for me where it's like I'll be pissed about something during the day, or I'll be ruminating about something, and I know like what you said about just showing up, sometimes it's just I just need to get to the guitar
Yeah.
and then play for 30 minutes,
Just
and
get
then
it done.
I'll usually be like that's kind of like when I process certain thoughts too sometimes, where I'm
Same.
just
Yeah.
like okay, this doesn't matter, I'm getting to play this
I feel
nice
like
guitar that I bought. Like I get to play
I
this.
swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only times I truly feel like I get all my emotions out is through singing. I've never fully like talked to a person and really like gotten every single bit out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like music has been the, me expressing, and of course even like just on stage singing covers, even like, you know, just singing on stage to people, that has helped me. Plus, I'm not really like a socialite person.
Mhm.
Like one-on-one like this I do fine, and I know you guys.
Yeah.
So that makes me pretty happy, but like I'm not a party person.
Well, I thought you were the shyest person when I first met you.
I was like,
well, it was just I thought a lot of things, but I thought that you were so
could say
shy. No, I thought she was gay. And
I thought you were straight.
Yeah. No, but like it just goes to show, like, just because the cover looks one way doesn't mean the inside is,
And
There's a lot going on in
it's,
here.
a lot, you know?
it's kind of ironic because like musicians, I think I grew up thinking were like these super out there people and like super,
We all get bullied too. Like all the best
Yeah,
musicians,
all of us.
all of us have
And-
gotten
Oh,
like
man.
kicked down.
Yeah, and like a lot of musicians actually, you see them on stage and they're these like, you feel like, wow, they're so cool, that they're so confident in themselves
And
and
then
all
they're
these
nerds.
things, and then you talk to them after, and you're just like, wow, you are so weird to talk
I love
to.
it.
You are,
Yeah.
like you have very little social, and it's kind of cool, and like I think everyone kind of experiences that to varying levels, but like it's kind of interesting and cool because it is in a way like a theatrical thing to get on a stage and to just like for those 20 30 minutes that you're on the stage, nothing else kind of matters, and this is like
Seriously,
I gotta say my shit, and then like you get
I
off
like
the stage
zen
and
out
then-
completely. Like I'll like black out up there.
yeah
Same.
Like fully,
Just making it
like,
through, like I gotta hit these notes, gotta.
yeah like
Exactly,
focus
exactly.
in, do the thing,
It's
and then
beautiful. Like I don't feel that. I've never felt that same way about anything. It's
Yeah.
like being on a roller coaster, but also being at like a sauna and just like maybe not even sauna, just like chilling at the same time. Just the peace of mind that I get when I'm up there and when I'm like performing my songs in front of people, and even covers up there. Just
Mhm.
performing in general,
Yeah.
just being out there, being a musician. Like I don't ever get that calm feeling ever.
so do you prefer being on stage than recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. I put myself through the pressure of recording just so I can be on stage.
And does that kind of play into your I know I guess it's kind of piggybacks off the question of like writing to a band, but
Yeah.
like when you are writing, do you think about the live performance
Yes,
primarily?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think about what I'll do on stage, what sort of movement I do. I had somebody actually tell me they were a roadie for Guns N' Roses, and he's like, listen, when Axl's up there and stuff, and then he also told me that Axl growled at him once, which I thought was hilarious. I can see it.
Yeah.
Axl Rose, I think I would simultaneously like cry, but also be very afraid to meet.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that would be so
That's funny.
amazing, but also like
Yeah.
scares me.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
intimidating.
It's
yeah.
super intimidating. But anyway, my point is he told me, he's like, Chloe, each song is like a different outfit that you put on, which I love fashion. If you can't tell, like this is thrift store chic. It's actually
Thrift
like
store
vintage, like BD or whatever. I found it.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
You were there, I think.
Oh, I was there. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, look at this.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, it's like you have to embody the song. You have
Mhm.
to embody each and every lyric. You have to say it with conviction. You have to be, to be truly, at least in my eyes, and I kind of hint at it with my students. Of course, I'm not going to be in there like, you got to do this, that, the other thing, I'm just like, say it with passion, just if it's a chill song, of course, chill, make it happy, smile, but if it's like an in your face song, still have fun with it. You
Mhm.
want to
Believe
really
the
embody
words
them.
that you're. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
cut you
you're good.
off.
You're good.
The way I say it is, I want to believe the words that you're saying.
Exactly.
Like I don't want to sit here and it just
Mhm.
feels like you're like taking a test or you're just doing it just because like it's what I want to hear. I want you to actually I want to hear the emotions coming out of,
seriously,
like I want to believe what you're saying, and I want you to believe what you're saying too. I want to hear the emotion, because emotion plays such a big part in the way that music reaches people.
Yeah.
Even people that don't have music experience can feel it. If there's no emotion there, people are going to be turned off by it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
And, singing, especially, in music in general, like singing and music both simultaneously, we didn't have to do that. There didn't have to be music.
Mhm.
Yet there is, because the human soul, I think, just needs that sort of melody and, like, especially harmonizing. Vocals technically is the first instrument. I
Mhm.
consider it an instrument. I work extremely hard on it. I mean, put hours into it and everything. As far as techniques goes, I mean, there's nothing like sitting around a campfire and just like harmonizing with people.
RCAMPFR.
song.
We've been making a lot of SpongeBob jokes
That is my
today, so
favorite cartoon. Dude,
SpongeBob is.
every time I introduce myself to a kid, I make a SpongeBob reference and I'm like, yo, you know what that's from? And if they don't know it, I'm like, you need to watch SpongeBob right now or you're not going to have a good childhood.
SpongeBob is, yeah.
It's my personality.
Me too.
SpongeBob is,
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah. And I think what you're talking about with like each song you have to wear the outfit of is really interesting, because that's something that so coming from like metal and stuff like that, it's interesting. That's not the only genre I write, and I share a lot of, for me growing up wasn't metal. I did listen to like hip hop and a lot of like rock and Indian classical music and stuff like that, and like. But it's interesting, I think, because I had more of an upbringing with different genres, I find that I can, if I'm playing stuff, like it is fun to sometimes just, stick to a feeling and just, ride that out for an album, or like a lot of that stuff is high intensity. But it is interesting to me when you can take a genre or even the high intensity or something, but then still have a different emotion that you're feeling or trying to encapsulate, even if it's all under the umbrella of the same genre of like metal or heavy music. I think that's something I find cool in bands. Like I was reading a quote or something. One of my favorite bands growing up was System of a Down. That was like they were like, that's a big reason that's kind of how I learned a lot of the stuff I do now with metal music was System of a Down. But I think I saw a quote by them saying like the reason that they don't just have like, one song that's like, or a whole album that's angry, or a whole life, or a whole a song that's like one emotion, why their stuff's all over the place is because that's what life is.
It really is.
Life is not one just like one just you're always mad, you're always happy, you're always whatever. It's like it is this weird melting. It's
and like
cesspool
is more accurate. Yeah,
cesspool of chaos, man.
That's a good metal band name.
Hey, gotta write that down.
Chaos.
And I mean, you were talking about it earlier. How putting your emotions out. And I meant to touch on this earlier, but it reminded me again. But putting your emotions out there. I mean, all of the best songs I feel like are very like raw. The lyrics have to be from your heart. So I mean, I can't wait to hear more of your music, obviously. But
I mean, like,
I'm encouraging you.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now it's in that robotic. I'm writing a lot of stuff with MIDI, so it's just like, let's see how I can
do
draw
that all the
most
time
of
with
stuff.
like, if I need to draft something, I will go to MIDI.
Yeah, and actually for me, what has pushed me to do is when I feel like I'm writing stale guitar things, I'll write not on the guitar and then have to learn it on the guitar. And then that's like, actually, that was a big thing with Brandon's music that was different, was like he wrote it on keyboards.
Yeah.
So then learning these guitar parts, I was like, what is
it? Is an
so
amazing
weird. And I was like, this is the hardest thing I've learned, not just because it's also like I wouldn't have written it this way. And like, it's like as a guitar player, it's just so different. So like, that's pushed me to do different stuff. But that is something I'm trying to keep in mind, is just like sometimes when I'll notice even the business thing we were talking about kind of start to like creep its way into my writing, where I'm like thinking again about like, what am I trying to market myself as a musician? What's my audience that I'm trying to gain? What is my like if I'm writing these songs, how am I going to write the music, or what kind of music video? How am I going to promote it? How am I going to do this? And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, just shut up, just stop. Don't think it, just write the song. And because then I'll write into those things where I'm like, okay, I need cool guitar parts in this song. and I'm like, what is that? And when I say that, then I write the dumbest guitar parts.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I mean, sometimes simplicity is key, but I mean, okay, this is what Brandon told me about that. Your fans are exactly like you.
Mhm.
And that's probably the best thing that I could have heard.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it just simplified it. And then, but the real challenge is, who am I?
yeah.
I don't want them to be like me.
That's
The
why,
question
like,
of
do you
the
need to
hour.
be better than me? Yeah. Like,
Exactly. So it's like, you know, then it's exploring that. But I mean, you do you.
yeah, I mean, you'll gain the people who you're not trying to chase people. It's like you're trying to get people. The people who will want that will come to you. And
Yeah.
like I think the underlying thing of regardless of what you're doing, like you can do the most experimental stuff, but you can still tell when someone does it well or
Yeah.
when someone does it like that. That's why I prioritize sometimes. Like, okay, I want it to whatever I do, even if it's some weird wacky thing I'm trying
Yeah.
out, I still want it to sound professional, however
Yeah.
vague that
And that's where the
sounds.
technique
Yeah.
comes
And, like,
in. And
yeah,
that's,
like, I
you
wanna
know,
still-
that's where you clean it up.
Yeah, you can still give it your all, but even with I've tried to push myself recently. I was like, especially being in that like technical world of guitar stuff
Mhm.
where it's like, I feel like there's that world of like everyone's like they're can you play like 900 notes in 5 seconds? Can you be the biggest shredder? It's just like sometimes I'll scroll through my Instagram thing and it's just like, and I'm like, that's super cool,
Social
and I wish I could
media-
do that, and I'm probably gonna do the same thing to like get some like I probably
Yeah.
will want to do that someday to just.
Oh, man.
But it's like there is a thing where I'm like, on its own, this isn't necessarily music, or it's not like it's just. It's a thing. It's musicality, but it's not a song.
It's
or
impressive.
music. Yeah,
It's impressive.
But can you hold a steady beat for 3 minutes straight?
yeah. Or can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Or can you have a groove?
Yeah. Can you tell
mean,
a story, or can
yeah.
you?
I always tell people the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. That's something I heard.
I thought it was
also,
Knights in Satan's service. No, I'm kidding.
and also those complex parts don't have value if you don't have the simple parts.
Yeah.
Because like even in your song, something I noticed is like, so toward the end, when you brought the dynamics down and you brought it a little quieter, it's not that that's easier. It's there for a reason, because that's the emotion you're doing. And
Thank you for noticing that.
Yeah, because it takes control, and it takes more like it's kind of interesting with the voice sometimes. Like it can, like sometimes playing with a guitar, it's like, yeah, playing, sometimes just playing a million notes at a certain, yeah, it's impressive, but like it can be, once you hack that thing, it can kind of be easy. But like sometimes I'll find even just like playing like I was playing dude, what's that song by Death Cab? I'll follow you into the dark. Yeah. And so
There you go.
after practicing all this
Love
metal
that.
stuff for so long, and then I did a busking gig with Haley, and then we were playing like a bunch of just like, singer-songwriter covers. I was screwing that song up so badly. And she kept looking at me like, dude, slow it down a bit. Slow it down a bit. Yeah, and like
it sounds like a simple thing. You go
yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's humbling, but it's good.
Yeah, and it's a thing that's also showing you that like difficult is something that's just, it's vague, and it's subjective, because there are people who play like, yeah, I mean there are people who do like singer songwriting stuff, but then they're doing like actually the Beatles are the best example, because when I still hear Beatles stuff, I'm like, what are these chord changes? Like they do the weirdest, coolest
Love Me
chord
Do.
change.
Yeah.
Like that's a crazy. Like what?
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah,
they
or-
traveled like they like took a train to like learn the C chord.
yeah.
Like,
Wait.
have you heard that story?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So Mandy, you could probably tell it better than me.
No,
but,
you got a girl.
but I mean, the premise
I'm
is
breaking down.
basically they hopped on a train and they literally traveled to see this dude who knew how to play a C chord.
I don't know why.
They're like insane.
I think they were on drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, honestly, their
Was it
music
around
theory was
Can
Sergeant
insane.
confirm
Pepper?
this.
But I mean, they kind of wrote similar to me and Mandy, I guess, where like, they'd have the melody 1st and then go from there. And it's all about that group thing. It's all about connection. A lot of their songs, it's very like chanty.
Gotta love the
It's all about the
Beatles.
chorus. It's all about the
Yes.
chorus. Oh, and then another Brad quote. I just want to bring it up.
Brad Cox.
Brad Cox. Let's go. It doesn't take a genius to make something complicated.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah,
That is- Yay!
It's fun to just hear like all of your like the kind of similarities between everyone's experience, but like
Yeah.
how it's like different just from like
Different variations.
yeah, your different like your life stories and reasons. So thanks for sharing all that.
Thank you guys so much. I hope to be seeing more of you guys. Well, I know I'll see y'all, but I hope to be seeing more
Yeah.
of you. And it's good to meet a new friend.
Yeah,
So thank
for
you.
sure.
And thank you so much, Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. You're the best. Thank you. And yeah,
I love you.
I'll see you guys later.
Cool. So I think one of the questions that I had, which I guess you were talking about with like teaching and stuff,
Mhm.
but for both of you, so when we were talking about like being a musician now, there's like so many different things, and
Mhm.
and there's you were talking about the people in your life who've made an impact of you, like you know, uh, being where you are right now.
Mhm.
What's something as like for a musician that you is coming up right now or trying to do the thing in this current scene, whether it's in Dallas or anywhere or in their local scene or just trying to, get started and enter that industry? Like what's a piece of advice you have for them? So
Oh,
each
man.
of you,
And I mean, I guess this is for
or multiple things.
everybody that's like trying to support a musician as well. Go out and go to shows,
Mhm.
look through Instagram hashtags,
Mhm.
meet people that are like-minded. But be careful. And this is the only negative thing I'm going to say, pretty much. There is a lot of drama
Mhm.
in the industry. Stay out of drama. Do not engage.
Yeah.
So if somebody's, causing some stuff, stay out of it. Be nice,
Mhm.
but ultimately, make connections.
Mhm.
But don't just make connections, make genuine connections. Connect with people who are like you, just make friends,
Mhm.
actually be out there and supporting people as well. So, Friday nights, you can dedicate that to going out, open mic nights, fun things that a lot of musicians do is just going out to open mic nights. That's a thing, so just meeting people, connecting, and just doing that. I mean, I feel like the ultimate thing that musicians are fighting for right now is recognition, exposure, and a lot of that is used against us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the support, and I mean, even just getting people to like our posts on social media. Sometimes it's really discouraging, and social media is so toxic. I have to basically post and leave, but you'll notice.
I am kind of tethered to the Instagram and glued to the.
Oh, I got a private
I feel ya.
account.
It's like constantly. Oh, I had that too. I just never. It's just the doom scrolling, but like you said, there's that toxic part of your brain that is
Yeah.
wired to see an interaction, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
Social media is a great thing because in many ways, because like I've gotten most of the opportunities
It's
I have
for being
because
social.
of that. Yeah, and
It's
like
for
I've met, actually, like you said, the hashtags. That's how I've
Yeah.
met people who I've now played with in music, and that's
Yeah.
how I. But there is that
Same.
like there's that response in your head that
Yeah.
kind of, or the drama. But I think the thing that's a good real piece of advice, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of times
they go in,
everyone
and then
hears-
it's like you get wrapped up in it, and that's how they get into drugs. That's how they
Well,
do,
yeah, and it's good advice than just just go do the thing, and that
Yeah.
like that, yeah, that's important, but like you said, you are gonna, it's not just about meeting everyone in the world, but
Yeah.
meeting
The right people.
the right people and
That-
people who will respect
yeah.
you, and people
Exactly, because
like,
there's a lot of people, and I mean, just sometimes they shine brighter than the people who they're just like pushing down
yeah,
because they're like, pick me,
yeah, and then there's, yeah, exactly.
So just, being careful, just being nice, staying out of things, and, but forming good, genuine connections.
Mhm.
And, another piece of advice, the person who walks up to you, and this goes for anybody, I feel like, regardless of industry, regardless of anything, a person who walks up to you and immediately, acts a certain way, they're doing that with everybody else.
Yeah.
So if they're walking up to you and they're like, hey, that person over there, they're start like gossiping and everything, be careful of that person, because they're probably going to do the same thing with your information.
Mm-hmm.
So
Someone else.
like I said, just stay out of drama. That's it. But find the right people.
That's
And,
smart.
yeah.
What about
Anyway.
you, Joseph?
Joseph.
It's kind of along the same lines.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say, and maybe it's me talking to myself as well.
Yeah, I mean that's
Good.
the best. A lot of times giving advice is for our own.
Yeah, but honestly, something I have to tell myself: just take a step.
Yeah.
Like I've seen, I have some friends. I've seen some people who, great artists, have a bunch of great songs. Ready, or they're a really, really talented musician. They're a little bit scared to move forward, take that step to do something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it can be scary because there's a million and one ways to do it.
Yeah.
And you never
There's-
know which one's the right way or if there's a right way. I don't even know if
Yeah.
there is a right way. Like,
There's no right way. And it's not a straight path.
so yeah, just for me, with songwriting, with playing, I feel like I have to like sit down and right then have something perfect.
No.
It's not ever going to be that way.
I mean, then
there's an
anyone would
element,
do it.
yeah. There's an element of just having to, sit there and work through stuff, and eventually, it's going to be at a point where the song needs to escape.
Yeah. It always escapes.
Um,
It's never ready. It just escapes.
Mhm.
So no, just take another step in whatever direction you think is right. And if it's not, you're going to get pushed back and it's going to suck. And then you take another step in another direction and you keep doing that until you find the right path. So very broadly, that's kind of my experience is having to like move forward and keep moving forward and not, give up when it's hard and when you don't feel like
extremely important.
you're doing the right thing. So
Mhm.
in a broad sense, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I think about,
Don't give up and don't stop moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The minute you stop moving and the minute that, and it's all the little things like picking up your guitar or, writing a lyric and everything. It's all the little things that matter the most.
Mhm.
And the minute that you stop moving just because somebody said, oh, your music sucks, or, oh, it sounds like this, or this, that, the other thing, that's when you lose. That's when
Yeah.
that person wins. So just keep on moving.
Yeah.
Your song's always going to sound like some other song.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
it just, there's only so many chords and notes and stuff. Might as well just share what your personal experience is and own it. Because I
Yeah.
mean, any decision that you make in life, it's gonna be challenged,
Yeah.
and
That-
especially with social media.
That's-
So you might as well just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I think my two things are like what I've thought, and these are like you said with talking to yourself. A lot of this is to me the self-talk that's helped me get out of, especially that that thing of like the what was the word, imposter
Yeah.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Imposter
I
syndrome.
think for me the two things are know yourself and like know what, like finding what, like listen to your hesitations, because like some like there's a while where I was like, why am I not being productive with certain things? Like there was a while where I was like, I kind of want to, maybe I should get a job in sound design and do sound, and I was just like, I'm just not sitting down to do it. Why is this so boring? And I was like, because you're not passionate. And it's
Yeah.
like, but part of me was, but I like doing it.
Yeah.
I've actually really enjoyed learning how to do a lot more sound design, but to still incorporate it into the context of being a musician and like make my mixes sound better.
Yeah.
Or even with mixing, it's like I love being in the studio, but mixing is not the only thing I could do for a living.
Exactly.
I still love being a musician. So even if I were to be a mix engineer, I'd still always have to be a musician also in
Yeah.
doing that thing. So like listening to your like hesitations or knowing, or even finding that genre of music that you're just like, like when you find that thing that you want to do, like you're like, you still have that, like, I'm doing this because this is fun. I feel like all the other things that come with being a musician that suck become easier to deal with,
Yeah.
because you're like, the reward is much better than the work. Otherwise, why would you do
Exactly.
this? You could just get a different job and
Exactly.
chill and
It's like-
watch TV, play Switch, and live
Yeah.
a happy,
Call it a day.
yeah, live a very happy life.
We're
But, like,
different though. Our souls
yeah,
need this.
so I think that's that thing of, you got to find that thing that you're just still weirdly, almost obsessed with.
Yeah.
And like the second part to me is like, do it anyway. It's like a,
Yeah. There's also the fear of failure. Not even, sometimes it's you're passionate in it, it's the fear of failure,
yeah,
which controlled me for the longest time.
yeah, and that's kind of like, for me, it's like that do it anyway thing of like it's the discipline. I think
Mhm.
discipline has more benefit than passion sometimes, or
Oh,
like one of
yeah,
the
it
things is
does.
like working when you're. I think I used to see it as like I work when I'm inspired, but then you won't do things a lot, and you're not going to be consistent
Yeah.
because like when you're in that depressed rut where you're like I'm terrible at guitar, I don't want to do this, or which is very frequent, then you're not gonna do stuff, or you're not gonna like there are certain things I won't like. It's important to take care of your mental health, obviously, and like
Yeah.
to take a
Mental
break
health
and all that
is
stuff.
huge. Yeah.
But sometimes I have this thing where I'm like, if I only go by when, like, oh, I'm feeling like doing music today, or I'm feeling like I'm just always, if I only do it when the inspiration hits, it might be really hard to get something out
Yeah.
versus like sometimes
Well-
for me, I like, even when I'm like, man, I really don't like, I really like, I'm just like, I don't want to work on
Yeah.
the song or something. Sometimes I'll say, just, it's almost like mentally crawling to the laptop to just open it
Yeah.
for 15 minutes. And sometimes it's just 15 minutes. That's what I
Mhm.
give myself
Yeah.
every day, 15 minutes, write a beat or write a thing. And then,
Yeah.
That's good.
and then that'll end up turning into a 3-hour thing because I'm like, ooh, this sounded good. And then you get into that
I
thing and
love
then you're
that.
into that. And but even when
Sampling
it's
the
not
snare
there,
for the 30 minutes, you're just like, which is the right snare?
yeah, that, and even that has value to it. And sometimes it's like, even if it's a 15-minute thing where I'm like, I wrote this loop, really don't like it, whatever, I'll still save it a lot of times.
Uh-huh.
I just have an ideas folder.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the songs I've been writing recently are from that ideas folder.
That's what happened
So
to me.
so then I have this vault where then later I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh, that was a cool idea, but wait, I just needed to change this one note, and then
You
this
just
is
Yeah.
do
now
it in
cool.
a different light.
It's
and
going
then-
back to it
Oh,
later.
I should just done a different sound, or like,
Yeah.
and so a lot of times as I do it anyway, that discipline, it's like I'm doing it for future me because I know future me will at least thank
Yeah.
myself for
And-
like having done that. And that's my biggest
Yeah.
piece of advice is just
And
do it anyway.
That's great.
Just
That's
like,
great.
seriously, I mean, just to capitalize on that, like the song that is actually coming out after Not Good
oh,
with
you already,
Words.
you're on
We're
the-
already.
y-
My
okay.
goal for this year was to read some more books because I do actually like reading, and yeah, most of it's like just fluff, and it's like just to get my brain off of
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
And to release 3 songs
3 songs.
and to just start building. Just I'm out of college. I got all my work stuff done. I'm at a good place with this job and everything.
Yeah.
Just start doing that. But yeah, anyway, the song that, we're working on right now, which Joseph is writing on, he wrote this amazing guitar riff for it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yes, you did an amazing job with it. He was
I
like,
appreciate it.
because we were writing, and then he's like, I don't know. And then he started, and then we were like, oh, that's cool. But it's actually been in the works for like 3 years. So on one end, I had Not Good with Words that came out in one night, and then this other one is called Love Letters to the Dead. It's been like 3 years in the making,
Mhm.
So, and that started from the ideas folder. I'm like, I know that this song is in there. I know that this idea, it started out as a melody like, I need to stop writing love letters to the dead. That's kind of like what I wrote and everything. And then it just has turned into this like thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just it all comes from the ideas folder. I always tell, my students, my friends, anybody who's writing, always keep your ideas folder. Even if you have to, I always group it, like, I'm insane. I group it by like sad, angry.
No, that's
and happy.
smart. That's good, actually.
Tonalities.
Yeah, just seriously,
Emotionless.
just like emotions, and then like I have a misc.
That's
That
cool.
one.
It's not just by like project, but you're doing it by like, yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
because sometimes I'll just think of something random.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, okay, is this sad or happy? What is it? And then just write it in there. But
Mm.
came from the ideas folder. So, and it's been 3 years in the making. So don't give up on your ideas. Don't give
Sometimes-
up on them because
yeah,
you'll need them. and
Yeah,
it's
someone asked me how
material.
long it takes me to write a song, and I was like, it
Depends.
can be a day or 5 years. Because literally, I
It can be
had a
one
riff
day.
from 2016 that I used for something.
Yeah.
But it was just a riff, and then I wasn't actively writing with it. I
Hmm.
made an Instagram video a long time ago. And then I haven't done anything with it. But I played the riff here. I used it as like a warm up all the time.
Hmm.
And
Awesome.
then recently just was like, yo, wait, I have the song. I
There you
know what
go.
to do.
There you go.
And then it's just like boom, 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 next,
That's
next,
how
next,
it-
next,
yeah,
next.
exactly.
So it's like really the song is 8 years or
Yeah.
7 years or something, but like actually like not as long. It's just
Dude.
like you just have to. That's and that's
And
why
it's
you
always
just keep-
working in the back of your head too. Like it's
Yeah.
subliminal.
you don't work as linear as you'd like. It's like always you're moving on a little bit on this, and then you're moving a little bit on
Yeah.
this, and a little bit.
And those songs are great. I mean, like it I feel like it makes it more special too, because it's like a long time in the making, and it's like, wow, okay, this song has grown. It's like it's your baby, you know?
Mhm, yeah.
So yeah.
And it's probably so different than when you turn, when you started that thing, and then sometimes I like listening to like version 1 that I exported, and then like version 30, and then you're just like,
They're so different.
but sometimes I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
version 1 was it. Like
Wow,
version 1
yeah.
was it. Like what
What did
was
I
2 to 29? That was all trash. Like I didn't need that. Version 1 was
Oh my
fine, but like,
gosh.
but sometimes it's like I'll hear this thing and I'm like, oh wow, this thing has evolved into like
yeah.
it's like it's like, or you can, it's like you feel almost so distanced from the song
Mhm.
sometimes, that because you've been playing and recording it so much that like sometimes you're just like, yeah, this was a song I guess I wrote, but like
Mhm.
it's just a thing now. It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
living
Seriously.
and breathing on its own, and it's out there and it's
Yeah.
doing its thing.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
when you have that third song,
Dude.
before we'll have that next podcast episode.
Bring it
and
back,
you
let's
both-
go.
Yeah,
we'll have
let's do-
Terrence here with us.
Yeah, if Matt, if you're in,
Whip that rip out
do it
or
again.
riff out.
yeah, no, that'll be great.
Seriously.
Well, I think that about wraps up
Dude.
everything I had. Thank you both so much for being here. This is very fun and very encouraging for me to do
Yay.
this more in person, and like I think this is a really fun conversation, and the song is super awesome. So
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely I definitely, if you have any shows coming up, I know I couldn't make it to the last one,
Okay,
but if you have
fine.
any, which also I guess leads me to if there's anything you want to plug for the audience, now's your chance. Like I know you
I
have a new
mean,
song coming out on the 29th, right?
Definitely Not Good with Words. It's coming out on the 29th. If y'all want to listen to something sooner, I have Angels Cry. It's my newest / latest / me coming out and being a solo artist original. So
And you've got a music video for that, right?
I
Music
do.
video, I was gonna
I
bring that
released
up.
a music video,
Yep.
everything. I put my heart and soul into that as well. I was literally editing the music video myself with my boss, Vanessa, who's the owner of Rockstars, this fine establishment. And just please go check it out. My @ is Chloe Clement. My @ is Chloe Clemente official on Instagram. And also I have a website, chloeclemente.com. And
Nice. And Joseph, do you have any solo stuff that you're working on, or any other artists that you're playing
what
with?
you
or-
doing?
No, nothing.
what you doing,
nothing
dog?
really right now. But I'm just vibing, just having a
Nice.
good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you all ever have a show coming up in support of
will.
this, just let me know.
Yeah, right now it's just releasing songs. It's been a lot on our plates and everything. If a show comes up though, I will let you know and everything. But thank you so much for having us on. And
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Man.
it's been such a good time.
yeah,
And
for sure. Well, thanks for tuning into Tonal Distancing. We'll have a little clip from their upcoming song as the outro for this, and we'll see you next time.
yay,
Wow.
you did it.
Yeah, we did it.